welcome to the Disneyville Podcast, episode 29.
Very excited for this episode. We went back and forth on if we wanted to talk about all of the announcements that came out a while ago at D23 about the updates coming to the parks. But honestly, this was the largest grouping of exciting announcements ever, I feel like.
In a long time.
And it feels weird to not talk about them.
That actually might come to fruition because a lot of the other
Supposedly
stuff.
Definitely will. Time will tell.
Yeah, in the past, a lot of the stuff was like, maybe at some point in the future, we're going to do this. And now they're like, June 1st, 2025, this is happening. What do you say of Josh D'Amaro, who's the chairman of parks? He said, dirt is moving, projects are happening, construction is starting. Like, they're like, we are doing this.
These are not blue sky ideas. Yeah. These are actually happening. And really, that was in response to the flack they got for when they announced a lot of new things that were supposed to happen, things at Epcot, things like the Reflections resort they were going to build in the old river country, which we were recently talking about. And a lot of those things were scrapped or at least shelved because, many reasons. So I think that was definitely in response to all of the online chat about these are some pretty big announcements. Are they really even going to happen? Supposedly, according to him, 100% all of these are going to happen. So I'm very excited. I'm very hopeful.
There are a lot of announcements. We're going to try to make this not be 3 hours long, but we're going to try and get through each announcement, kind of tell our opinions on it. We asked on our Disneyville Instagram what you all are most excited about, so we'll read through some of those. So it's going to be a good episode.
This is a juicy, fun, happy episode. I hope you guys are psyched. And there may be some things, if you're not super on top of all of the Disney news and announcements, that you missed. And some of the smaller announcements are actually the ones I'm the most excited about.
I would say that's true. Yeah, for me too. So if you're new to this podcast, I am Tyler Braun. This is my beautiful wife, Jessica Braun.
Thank you.
And we host the Disneyville Podcast. We're going to talk about some exciting stuff. We don't do a lot of news episodes.
Well, go ahead.
We've never done a news episode, so we're excited to talk about this a little bit. And part of the reason, just a quick sidebar, that we don't do a lot of news episodes is there's already so many people and YouTube channels and podcasts that go into the Disney news kind of stuff. But also, I feel like so often Disney will announce something like the Lightning Lane changes, and then in a year and a half, it's going to change again anyway. So I'm like, I don't know. We just don't do a lot of them because things change really quickly. But this, I'm excited about. Oh,
where do we begin? Go ahead.
Mugshots. We're going to do some mugshots. We haven't done those in a while, so I'm excited about that.
That's right.
Would you like to talk about your mug?
Yes. I couldn't remember. Tyler, do you remember? Did we get this at a Disney park or no?
I almost feel like we just bought that in like a Disney store, like we stopped somewhere, but I don't remember that to be true.
What I'm thinking, maybe in Destin, Florida. They had a Disney, and I feel like maybe we got it there, but it's just a gray, cute little retro kind of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse vibe from back in the day. And it just says 1928 Mickey Mouse. I love this one.
This might be my favorite Disney mug. I had one and it started to leak. And so I was so sad. I'm like, well, I guess I could use it for pens or whatever. Then we went to Disney and they happened to still be selling them. So I got it. I have not seen them since. So I'm really, really glad that I got a second one. But it's a picture of Main Street, USA with Walt standing in front of the castle and a little Mickey in color, and everything else is black and white. One of my all-time favorite mugs. I don't pull it out very often because I'm like, I don't want anything to happen to it. But I feel like today, with all the parks announcement, it's a good time to bring this mug out.
Yeah. Cheers.
Don't break it. They're prone to leakage.
Splashes everywhere. All right, y'all. Let's begin. All right. So we've never been to D23, first of all. We're not going to focus much on just D23 itself.
Yeah.
We only know what we know that we see from afar when it comes to those events and stuff. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll go.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a whole thing. I mean, like, it's kind of...
I've seen some clips from it. It's amazing to me, though, looking at what it used to look like way back in the day when I first started paying attention to this to what it looks like now. It's totally different ballgame. But yeah, we've never gone. Maybe we'll go at some point. I think
someday we'll go. Yeah. Just to have gone and see. But I don't think it'd be something we would yearly go to. It seems just...
But we're not going to focus a whole lot on, the fact that like Billy Crystal came out or John Stamos. Like, we're not going to talk about the actual announcement ceremony from D23.
That doesn't matter. We just want to know, what are you guys doing to the parks?
Yeah, honestly, you're right. Like we said, Josh D'Amaro said, this is not blue sky. Everything they announced is happening. I'll believe it when I see it. But he said, quote, everything we're going to share with you is in active development. Plans are drawn. Dirt is moving. I want to be clear about this. We are doing everything you're going to hear tonight. So
I don't think they're going to go back on that.
I don't think so.
I don't think they would have just not included that if there were the chance.
I don't think they could. I mean, I think that,
they would get a lot of flack. Yeah,
I think so.
So let's start with Disney World. We're also going to go into Disneyland and Disney Cruise. We are not going to touch on Hong Kong, Paris, any of those. Honestly, it's already so much. So we were like, let's just focus in on the things that we have the most experience with, the most thoughts about.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Disney World, naturally. Start strong with Magic Kingdom.
So the biggest announcement. So it's funny because we were getting like updates, we kept seeing things come out. And we were talking about everything that had been announced. And I kept saying to Jess, I'm like, I feel like there's got to be a bigger announcement. I'm like, I'm excited about all these things, but I'm like, I thought there was going to be something bigger.
And then we went to bed. And then we woke up the next morning to the biggest thing that had not been announced when we went to bed.
Villains Land.
In the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So.
This has been a long time coming.
It has. I will say this, I feel like they gave the least amount of details about this than anything else. So what we know for sure is that it is going to be home to 2 major attractions, whatever that means. They didn't give any details about what characters, what they would be like, if they'd be thrill rides, dark rides, some sort of halvesy. But there's also going to be dining and shopping. So it's like truly a land. I mean, you know what I mean? It's got all the things. But will there be a Joffrey's kiosk?
Oh, I'm certain there will be. And they'll have clever names for their coffee.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like witch's broom.
Broom. Witch's brew.
Also broom. You stir it with a little broom.
Comes with broom.
Comes with witch's broom.
$17.99 only in Villains.
But you know what? They're probably going to have really cool villains like popcorn buckets. And if they don't, Disney, if you're listening, let me give you some free ideas. Villains popcorn buckets only available back there. Some kind of like candy apple popcorn you can only get back there. What else? Reusable like a souvenir cup only available back there with villains all over it.
I have no doubt they're all over the merchandising. They're going to be. Oh my gosh. That's one thing that Disney seems to excel at is their.
They've hired the right people.
Merchandising. Okay, so here's what Disney said. This, by the way, these are all supposed to happen within the next 5 years. My guess is this will be like the last thing.
5 years from now, yeah.
So I'm not getting too excited about it yet. I think it'll probably happen 2029. You know what I mean? But it says, this is no happily ever after. Get ready to see a darker side of your favorite fairy tales when the villains cast a spell over the Magic Kingdom. Villains Land will be home to 2 major attractions, dining, shopping, and an incredibly twisted grand scale. The fact they said grand scale, I'm like, they can't mess this up. I just feel
they won't.
like
you can't. They have so much to work with. If they mess this up, come on. There's so many villains and they're all so different. Hades better be involved somewhere because he is the funniest one naturally.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's
Hades
so many
is
ideas.
Good. He's one of my favorite villains. So yeah, that's going to be exciting, but it's going to be a while. So we've got a long time before that.
But hey, we can get excited about all the little tidbits we learn along the way. So the area it's supposed to probably, again,
Definitely.
These are all allegedly, but definite.
It's definite.
Going to be in the like area beyond Big Thunder Mountain, which everyone has been literally just calling the Beyond Big Thunder Mountain project or whatever. But this is it. I was kind of looking on Google Maps, like an aerial view of where it would be. And it's going to be, I'll be interested because it looks like there's a waterway back there as well. Not the Rivers of America waterway, but a different one, if I'm remembering right. So I'll be very curious how they do it, if they incorporate that water back there, which could be cool or whatever. So
it's going to be like a beyond the berm kind of project. Like when they opened Pirates, they had to get beyond the berm. So they had a big show building back beyond there. But I think it's going to be expanding, not just reclaiming other areas.
They just finished redoing the railroad.
And it's going to probably
and the railroad's definitely going through that area. So I'm like, they're going to have to close it down again.
Yeah, we'll see. How
probably. That would look. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So that huge announcement, but that's all we really know.
So far,
like they haven't, So the next one.
All right. This one I'm pretty excited about. Cars Land. I am, let me say this. I was 90% excited and then I was 60% excited. And I'll tell you why. So we learned about Cars Land going in the Frontierland area. I'm like, okay, that's kind of perfect.
And you know what? To just pop in real fast.
Yeah.
Frontierland really has not had anything going for it ever. Like new, that's what I mean. But even still, what's there? Country Bear Jamboree,
just got redone.
Can give it some love, but it's not like pulling a bunch of people in. The food, like Pecos Bill, is pretty good. Actually, very good, I should say. Isn't that like my number 1 or 2? But my point being, like, none of that has changed a ton. And I remember when my dad first went with us to Disney World, my dad's super into like cowboys and all that from when he was a kid. And so he was really excited to see Frontierland and was very disappointed. He was like, is this it? I'm like, yeah, I guess Big Thunder's technically a part of it, but it's kind of around the corner. And now, of course, Tiana's.
Yep.
That's really exciting, but it has needed something.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And so I think this kind of makes a lot of sense with it being, if you're heading out west on Route 66, you would go through this area to get to the New Frontier. All that, it all makes sense in the area. It
really does. Well, and think about the landscape. It's
right. Yeah. So in theory, it all makes sense there. But here's the thing. They're getting rid completely of the Liberty Bell, which I'm very sad about. And I'm medium sad about them losing Tom Sawyer Island. All of it's going away.
Well, there's no way they're just like trashing the Liberty Bell. No. I mean, like, undoubtedly they will move it somewhere else where you could either ride it or you could see it, you could go in it.
But
it just seems crazy. They're not just going to trash it.
I don't know. I think they are.
They could sell it to John Stamos, probably.
Keep it in his front yard. Yeah. So you can already see the plans coming out, and you can see they've got like, when you are walking from the Grand Floridian to the Magic Kingdom, there's that waterway with like the walkway that they just put in. That waterway connects to the Rivers of America, which is pretty cool. But all that is supposed to be like under construction. So you can see like on the other side of that waterway, there's 2 construction pads where they can use it. They can use those areas for like staging areas. They can use them for construction, whatever it is they're using them for. And you can see all of the area of Rivers of America is supposed to be filled in, and all of Tom Sawyer Island is going away. So I think it's all gone.
No, I'm sure that it is. Like but my question is just, what are they doing with the boat itself? Tom Sawyer Island has been one of those things that I always thought over the years, it's interesting to go over there. It's something very different. The kids can kind of run around.
Yeah.
But every time we go to the Magic Kingdom, your time is so valuable. And it's such a commitment of at least an hour or 2 where you've got to wait to get on the little boat to go over. If they had a bridge to go over to that.
Right.
We would have probably gone over at least once a trip. I couldn't. It's been a long time since we've gone because it's such a commitment.
It is, and once you're over there, you're kind of stuck until you can come back. But obviously, they would have to make it a movable bridge because that's where the Liberty Bell goes. So, so it has to be something that
I didn't think about that. Yeah,
could open and close kind of constantly. You know what I mean? Unless it just goes straight up and straight down.
Yeah.
So I get why they didn't, but I also feel like they could have done some sort of bridge to get over there.
Yeah, and literally just had it be a drawbridge, if you will.
Yeah.
That. It's one of those things that it's a bittersweet, but if they were going to have to remove anything, it's kind of the least, the thing I'm the least, but it's just one of those things. It's such a history. And I'm like, there is the part of me that is a little bit sad.
We're going to have to go next trip. We're going to have to go there.
There's
a couple things.
We're definitely going.
That we're going to have to hit up because it's going to be the last time we're ever going to do them.
Yeah. Quite a few.
Little Freddy foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
Talking about his stuff to be a bug. We'll get to that. Okay. This I am very excited about.
Sorry, I was still stuck on Cars Land, you guys. Just want to throw in, if you have been to Radiator Springs or the Cars area of Disneyland, it is so incredible. It's so incredible. And I'm not even someone that's super into the Cars movies. We were just recently watching them with the girls. Although watching them again, I'm like, okay, they're
better
actually
than
really good.
They're
But either way, even if you know nothing about cars or don't care, that land is incredible. It is spot on. I love being in there. So to have our own, kind of our home park of Magic Kingdom, I am very excited.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I meant to bring that up too.
Yeah.
Radiator Springs is my favorite area in California Adventure. It is so good, especially at night when the neon signs come on.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely love it. So I'm really glad we're not getting Radiator Springs. It's a different area of Cars lore. But I'm sure
I was really hoping, honestly, I hadn't dug that deep. I was really hoping it'd be.
It's not going to be just a copy of Radiator Springs, which is fine.
That is fine. Well, obviously it's going to be.
But I will say though,
I kind of wish it was.
We just watched, like Jessica just said, we just watched the first Cars, and it's a good movie.
Okay, so what Tyler was getting to, they in the summer of next year.
Yeah, soon.
Which makes less sense. Than a year. Well, about a year. They are bringing a new nighttime parade. I am very excited about this. So previously, the last parade we had was their classic Main Street Electrical Parade. And so this new one, let's see, it is called... Is that called Electric Hoedown? No.
Something like that.
Something like that. It's going to be called Disney Starlight Parade. So it says it's brought to life by the magic of the Blue Fairy, which I love that they're bringing the Blue Fairy into this. She's such a random, wonderful character.
100%.
And so it says characters from Peter Pan, Encanto, Frozen, and of course more. But they've only released concept art. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful.
I cannot wait.
I can't wait either. The only thing, the second I hear nighttime parade, my shoulders go up because all I think about when you're not watching the parade, if you're trying to like move around anywhere near Main Street, just don't even attempt. If you're trying to leave, don't even try because it is absolute chaos. Like it's like sometimes I remember looking around thinking this is dangerous chaos. Like the poor cast members are trying their best. And so I will be curious how this all goes down, but I love it.
Still excited. I know.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Like this, and we get fireworks and stuff. Like it's the nighttime just comes back to life. I feel like wow.
Classic Disney. Like when we first started going, like that is so exciting. And some of the new parades they've been putting out recently in other parks are truly spectacular. Seeing them on YouTube and stuff like that. I'm like, if it's anything like what they've been doing recently, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. So very, very excited. And again, that is like one of the soonest things that are happening.
Yes,
might be the soonest.
Yep. It says in 2025. So we'll see.
Yeah, it said summer.
Yeah.
According to other sites. This next one. We're going to focus on one of them here, but there are two new lounges coming to Disney World. We're going to talk about the one coming to Magic Kingdom first.
It's a Pirates of the Caribbean themed lounge. It's about time.
You know what? They have been missing out on, I mean, there's so much they can do with that. It's crazy that there's not like a Pirates of the Caribbean sit down restaurant.
Yeah.
Like they've had Tortuga Tavern kind of open and close seasonally, whatever. Yeah. They have just been sitting on a gold mine of ideas.
Because, I mean, obviously, you have the nostalgia from the ride. You have people that love the ride. You have people that love the movies. Like, it makes so much sense to bring more pirate stuff into the parks. They've been doing so much with Star Wars, which is fine. But come on, Pirates is right there, man. And the parks people that are, you know, like I would consider us park people versus like movie people, you know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
We deserve this.
We need this.
We need this. And think about Oga's Cantina. How cool is that place? If it's anything like that. And some of even the Star Wars lounges on the cruise ships that we've been on.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that level of detail and theming and stuff like that, I'm certain is going to come to this as well. So it's going to be...
I mean, my hopes are very, very high.
It's going to be real hard to get a reservation, I can tell you that.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be awesome.
The other thing is there's been kind of speculation about where specifically this lounge will go. So apparently, like just recently, they closed Tortuga Tavern, and well, it might have already been closed but it doesn't play by anyone's rules. But it reopened as like Tortuga Treasures as like a makeshift gift shop. Like I think a month ago, like weeks ago. I think it's kind of a makeshift gift shop because probably the lounge is going in that area that you would exit the ride, and there was that big gift shop.
Right.
That's kind of what the general vibe of when I was reading a bunch of blogs, a lot of people are thinking it's probably
it'd be right outside the ride. I mean, if you're looking at the entrance right to the right of it, and that's a huge space.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense.
So I guess we'll see though, but I could see where as the future goes on, that whole area, you know, might change and morph a bit, even across where Tortuga Tavern is. Like, it would almost make sense though if they put it where Tortuga Tavern is.
I could see it going in either place.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. Time will tell.
They would already have a kitchen back there.
Yeah. Like it kind of seems silly that they would, but I guess time will tell. Yeah, I also don't know in the renderings for this, there were kids in it. So I'm pretty sure it's a family friendly lounge. However, the one we're going to talk about in a bit at Epcot, I could not find any information if kids are involved or allowed. And the like rendering only had adults. And I feel like that was maybe intentional. So again, if you know, please let us know.
Almost all the Disney lounges though are family friendly. So I would assume that it is, but yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Or maybe it's like family friendly until 7 p.m. Like some of them are like that. So
okay, so I didn't know about this. You want to talk about this next part? I didn't read this anywhere. So you talk about this.
This was from your favorite blog to read, Disney Tourist Blog.
My buddy Tom, who has no idea I exist.
Quote from there, so I want to give credit.
Friend.
He just doesn't know who you are. Or me. Okay. Apparently for this Pirates Lounge, they're going to bring back the Barker bird, also known as Peg Leg Pete. So he was like an audio animatronic bird that used to be outside the ride and would just like be a barker.
It is
Do you even remember that?
Cusp of my memory. You know what I mean? Like like when I heard that, I'm like, that sounds right, but I can't picture it.
No,
you know?
I know. We'll have to, I'm sure there's video.
Oh yeah.
Because it wasn't that long ago. Apparently it was removed in 2006 when they were adding like Jack Sparrow and all of that to the ride. And so people have been speculating ever since, like, will that bird ever return? Like, you know, so apparently it's been confirmed that it will be a part of the lounge, which makes me so happy. Yeah. Very cool.
Very, very cool. All right, moving to Hollywood Studios. This might be my favorite thing that they announced. There is a Monsters, Inc. land and ride coming to Hollywood Studios.
Very excited about. We have been getting really into those movies with the girls.
And the TV show, like the Monsters University, and then the show, and then they've got Monsters at Work. They've got the shorts. Like there's so many good ones. That whole universe just makes me so happy.
It's one of those,
so glad they're bringing it to the parks.
Well, and I mean, come on, it was begging to be a ride. To ride on the doors like they do in the video or in the movie.
I almost feel like that entire sequence was made with the only thing in mind that like, we can make a ride out of this.
Let's do this in the movie. And then the coaster they're going to have is supposedly the first suspended coaster ever to be in a Disney park.
Yep.
I'm trying to think through. I'm like, is that right? But I'm sure they would know.
And you're riding on a door, which is so cool. But it says construction.
Yeah, you have to hold on. They don't even strap you in.
That's
what I heard.
You start working out. But it says construction's going to begin in 2025. So 2027, maybe we'll start to see that.
I feel like that's optimistic, but you never know.
One never knows.
You never know. So one of the biggest things that has come out about Monsters, Inc. land is where are they going to put it? So if you picture Hollywood Studios, there are two places that are kind of rumored it's going to be one of these two. So it's either going to be Animation Courtyard where, when you walk straight down Hollywood Boulevard and then you turn to the right, not on Sunset, but on the next one, it's where Disney Junior Play and Dance or whatever that's called is.
Disney Junior Dance Party.
Yep. That's where the like Star Wars meet and greet things are back there. Guys.
It has to go.
It has to go there. There's nothing there.
So when they keep talking about like, there's these rumors going around, I don't even think that this is a rumor. I'm like, because the other area that they could possibly do it in is the Muppets area. A, they just redid it. B, there's a restaurant there. C, there's a movie there. They've got a gift shop that I'm assuming.
What's the movie there? Oh, duh.
Muppet Vision 3D.
I was thinking,
At some point, I'm guessing they're going to reopen that gift shop. I mean, like that whole area, I just feel like they redid recently. There's no way.
It's really pretty.
They're going to cut that out for this when they have the other area. Animation Courtyard is this huge, useless open courtyard. Like a gift shop that has never
hasn't been open in a long time.
A big warehouse that they do this Disney Junior Dance
Voyage
Party
of the Little Mermaid's been closed.
They're bringing that back though, aren't they?
Well, I haven't heard that.
But then you've got like the animators courtyard back there where it used to be. They've got the Star Wars launch bay. Like
that's what it is. Launch bay.
They've got these huge areas that are kind of wasted space. It has to go
no
there.
way. So the reason, have you heard the reason the rumor spread that it might be the Muppets area is that there were two different concept art things released. The concept art that kind of showed it looking like maybe it would be in the Muppets area because it was like really bricked and stuff. The signature of the artist was 2020. So people are kind of wondering like maybe that was old and then they've changed or swerved, or maybe it just happened to look somewhat like that. But we all know concept art, it's literally artistic.
Yeah.
So there is no way, like you said, and I didn't even think about Pizza Rizzo being there. That is a pretty darn popular, huge,
big
wonderful
restaurant.
Quick service. I'm like,
and I feel like
there'd be no reason for them to take that out. And that was like the last thing Jim Henson worked on before he died. Like,
and they also had
so sad.
They're doing like the Haunted Mansion Muppets. They're doing like all these things with the Muppets. So I feel like they're kind of investing in that. And they can move Star Wars launch bay somewhere else, closer to Galaxy's Edge, so it would actually make sense.
Isn't it? What is even in there? Isn't it just meet and greets? That's what I'm saying. They could do that anywhere, many other places.
So I would be shocked if they didn't use that area because it's just warehouses that are completely wasted.
Disney
space.
Junior area is the only thing that's living there other than launch bay, and that could be anywhere.
It's a big garage. You can.
That's
do
what I'm saying. That could be anywhere. Yeah. And then they literally have had Voyage of the Little Mermaid and the gift shop on the other side closed. So it's just this huge wasteless area. So
it has to be there.
It better be there if they take Muppets away.
So yeah, this one, we're not big Star Wars people, so we're not super excited about this. But if you are excited, apparently they're doing something with The Mandalorian.
It's like a new story on Smuggler's Run.
I guess there's a new movie coming out.
Okay.
From The Mandalorian. And they're going to, from what I understand, they're using the Millennium Falcon in Galaxy's Edge. And they're just basically replacing the video portion of it.
Yeah, like it's like a new adventure that you can have on Smuggler's Run. So that's cool that it's a ride that you can do that. I do think that's neat that they designed it where when new things come out, new characters, they could actually adjust and change. And that I think that was really smart on their part. So if you're a Star Wars person
or a Mandalorian person. Or
yes.
Okay.
Whew.
Animal Kingdom. This is a big
This is one of my tippy top favorite excited things. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so we're talking about, and this has been rumored for a while, but the Tropical Americas area. So they're getting rid of Dino Land. which I'm medium about.
Yeah.
But they're bringing us in. They're redoing the dinosaur ride as Indiana Jones, which has kind of been rumored for a while. We've known that for a while. But what's cool is it's not going to be just a redo of what they have like in Disneyland. Apparently, it's a whole new storyline. Mm-hmm. So that'll be exciting.
It's like a perfectly preserved Mayan temple that he just absolutely must explore.
Yeah.
So that's the storyline. But I'm sure, I mean, if you didn't know, I know a lot of people do know this, but the dinosaur ride vehicles and all of that is basically the exact same thing as Indiana Jones in Disneyland, but
same ride technology, similar track. Similar,
but it's obviously was dinosaur themed here. And
but I'm glad they're not just doing a carbon copy of what they already have, because you can do that in Disneyland. We're doing something different. That makes me excited. But they're also doing
an Encanto ride. So all of this is going to be encapsulated in a new land that's replacing Dinoland, which is, did you already say this? Tropical Americas?
Yeah.
Okay. And so in that will be the Indiana Jones ride. They're going to have an Encanto ride where you go through the casita. Mm-hmm. And it's like on the day that Antonio gets his new gift of being able to talk to animals. So supposedly you're going to see characters along the way. You're going through the casita. I'm like, this, oh my gosh.
And in the movie, you see like his room turns into a jungle kind of thing.
Oh,
and from what I understand is that's what we're supposed to be able to see is his room as the jungle.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Encanto deserves this love. That movie is so good. The music is so good. So very excited. And that says it's sprouting to life in 2027. So I'm like, okay.
Not too far off.
That's not too far off.
So I didn't read this. What is this wooden carousel? What is that about?
Okay. So in this, so the Tropical America's land is like 11 acres. And again, it's replacing Dinoland. I'm assuming all of it. Also, RIP then, the dig site. We had so much fun there last time. So we'll have to, assuming it's all still open when we go next, go play there some more. Anyway, they're also going to have a carousel it said like a wood carver carved a bunch of animals. I think it's like the backstory, but my assumption then is it actually would be.
Okay. That's cool.
Wooden ? Or like Disney wood, the kind that's like,
I mean,
not
the
really,
carousel, the horses in Magic Kingdom, they're wooden horses that are regularly repainted.
they're just so lacquered.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Either way, so it's I'm assuming the animals on the carousel would be like animals you'd find in the Tropical Americas.
That's pretty cool.
So I think that's really cool. And again, that's something fun. They don't really have anything like that in a park other than Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And thinking about a 2-year-old like our 2-year-old, oh my gosh, she would absolutely love that.
Yeah, that's very true.
So just kind of a fun little kid thing to do. And then there's going to be a giant quick service restaurant there.
Which is good, because my guess is with them getting rid of
what Restaurantosaurus?
Yeah, it's got to be basically replacing that, because if they're getting rid of that,
and that place is usually pretty packed.
It is packed and it is huge. It is a huge restaurant with like 10 rooms. Okay, maybe not that many, but there's a lot. It's big.
Feels like I think we've eaten in all of the rooms too.
Yeah, so it's got to be kind of replacing that.
So this is that was a big announcement.
That's one of the
full land.
I mean, think about it. Villains Land, Cars Land, and this. Those are the three, like, as far as like huge overhaul, big amount of space, big amount of changes. Those are like the biggest ones.
This is going to be the most exciting 5 years of my life.
I hope so. Okay, so then this I would say I'm pretty excited about. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad they're redoing it, because I think it's about time.
It's time.
They're replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug with a new Zootopia show. So I love Zootopia. We just recently watched that too. It's a great movie, and you get to see all these different environments, if you will, biomes.
Yeah.
And so you're getting the chance to see all of those. Now, obviously, it's not a ride, it's a show, but my guess is it'll be like It's Tough to Be a Bug. There'll be animatronics, there'll be all these different things.
I wonder if there will be bugs biting your booty.
I hope so. Maybe it's like an homage to but it makes so much sense in the Tree of Life. I'm like, this is the perfect IP to go in the Tree of Life, because you've got all these animals springing out of it. Obviously, Zootopia. So it makes a lot of sense. So we've got to ride or got to see It's Tough to Be a Bug at least one more time when we go next.
Yeah. We're going to have to trade off because the girls are too scared now.
That's very true.
Gigi used to be into it now. Last time we went, she was like, no. I'm like, that's fine, girly. I'm not going to. So I wonder a couple of things with that. One, if they will literally not replace the seats and all of that, because you kind of wonder if they're going to use similar. Why would they take the seats out and replace it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wonder if they will kind of keep it simple when it comes to that, but then replace like the lobby you wait in. Obviously, it would be different posters.
Right.
And then obviously everything on the stage and the things coming out. And the other thought is a lot of that was looking pretty sad. Like anytime, what's that character, the grasshopper? Yeah, that comes out. Well, that's confusing because there's Judy Hopps too. Anyway, half the time I feel like that wasn't working, or like Flick wouldn't come out the right time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it needed a little love anyway.
I think it'll be,
most kids today don't know what A Bug's Life is.
We tried to have the girls watch that, and we got, it's a great movie, but I feel
a good movie.
We got, I don't know, maybe the first half of it, and they were kind of done, which they are younger. So, I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but it's just one of those movies. It's not like Beauty and the Beast, I feel like, is an example of one that in The Lion King that like it withstands the test of time with kids. Bug's Life is, I think, still great for kids. It's a wonderful film, but it's a wonderful piece of cinema. Yeah. But I just don't think it's got that like, bring them back power. Like parents aren't like, hey, you've got to watch this from my childhood. It's A Bug's Life.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But yeah, I think Zootopia is the perfect thing in there. And I honestly think they're probably going to do a little bit more gutting and redoing than that. I think they're probably going to, I mean, I don't think they'd reuse the same seats. They've been there since 1998.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're not using the bugs going by, I don't know. We'll have to see.
I
bet it's going to be more of a gut and redo kind of thing.
I bet it's not. I guess we're going to see.
Somebody remember
they're spending
this
so much. Yeah, remember, there's so much money being spent. I think that's one thing they could be like, okay, there's nothing wrong with we're going to see.
We're going to see. One last thing about that is as of right now, they said it's supposed to open winter of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Tough to Be a Bug is supposed to close early 2025. So that's kind of
it's not an exact date, but
so if you're going before then, like January, February of next year, if you can watch it one last time, try and see.
You might consider.
Okay.
Epcot.
So we have Test Track being reimagined, which we already knew was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be using bits. So I got to say, I never liked Test Track 2.0. We used to write it all the time.
The OG Test Track, yep.
Never really liked the new version. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Like it made sense. You understood what was going on, but it just, I don't know.
Long story short, in the original, you were a test dummy in the car and you were like going through different environments and it was very obvious like, oh, I'm in winter. I'm sliding on snow. Oh, there's an actual semi-truck coming at me. It made so much sense. Then they did this Test Track reimagining. Everything went really dark, got really, really dark. And you were supposedly like put inside a computer and they were like testing the cars inside the computer. I don't know. It felt very conceptual to me. And I was like, it was
just okay.
Which makes sense. I'm sure that's how they test cars nowadays, way more on a computer. But I don't know. I never really liked it. Yeah. It was like the same exact ride sequence, but computerized. And
so boo, computers, boo.
I want them to basically go back, which it sounds like what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're going to pull from the Wonders of Life Pavilion, which used to be, World of Motion.
I was like, what?
Not Wonders of Life.
They're just pulling from all the pavilions.
The other W, World of Motion. They're going to pull bits from the original Test Track. And I think they're going to basically...
I wonder if they'll go back
to making it more like a realistic environment, not computers.
Yeah. So Test Track 3.0. Again, kind of interesting that Disney has been able to reinvent this ride while keeping a lot of it similar.
Right.
It's just fascinating. And I have to say, when we first heard about this, I was like, what? They just redid Test Track. And then I looked the date of Test Track 2.0, if you will. It opened in 2012. So it's been open for like 12 years. And it closed in June of this year.
So it's,
So there you go.
I've got to say, I'm pretty happy about that.
I am too. Because that's one we've just been skipping. Yeah. Because we're like, it's fun, but it's not like...
And obviously the ride sequence is not going to change. You're still going to go around the building at the end. I'm certain they're not changing the track at all. It's just sort of the theming around
You better go outside the building. That is the most fun part of that ride.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, I don't think none of that is changing. The actual physical ride itself is not changing. It's just like a reimagining, from what I understand.
I guess we'll see. Probably.
Okay. We've already talked a little bit about this, but we talked with the Spaceship Earth Lounge.
So that's the second lounge they announced it's going to open. This one, we'll put a picture of what it looks like if you're watching this on YouTube. This is in an already existing lounge that they're doing it. So this is probably not going to be a very expensive overhaul for them.
Yeah.
Apparently this lounge, when you are looking at Spaceship Earth from behind, you can see it clear as day. It's like these dark black windows with the white around it. Mm-hmm. It used to be a corporate lounge for like whoever was sponsoring Spaceship Earth at the time, whatever.
Then it's DVC.
It was DVC for a while, right? I'm pretty sure. So it has spectacular views. It faces, in theory, it faces towards World Showcase.
Yeah.
Supposedly it's going to have fireworks views. So that's going to be a really hard reservation to get.
Yes. So if you're looking at the pictures, at the new Walt Disney statue, and you're getting a picture of that, it's what's behind you.
We just had a discussion and realized, so I don't think this one that's becoming that was ever a DVC lounge. The DVC lounge, I think, was over in the imagination.
Right, when you were exiting Figment on the left-hand side.
This one is actually connected to like Project Tomorrow.
Right, of course. Yeah, I knew that's where it was in my head, but I was thinking that was the staircase to get up there.
Too many random lounges.
But that's the other
All of
one.
them are DVC.
Yeah, that's also going to be under construction apparently. So, you know what? I didn't even think about that. They didn't talk about Figment.
No, they did not.
But there's
okay, I heard, should I share? Someone brought up, it's crazy that Disney didn't announce anything with Inside Out, considering how incredible Inside Out 2 did in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, that movie's amazing. No way they don't end up doing something with it, I guess, in the future. But someone brought up, they wonder if Inside Out would ever be fused with Figment on that ride. I could totally see it. Like where they redo Figment, the ride, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. It's in your head. Your imagination's in your head. Maybe Figment's a new character that they're meeting. Listen, there's a lot they could do.
That's true. I doubt it, but it's possible.
Joy met in the Imagination Pavilion.
That's true. But there are already construction permits. I think we've talked about this. Construction permits set for that building. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Guess
We'll see how that goes. Let's move very quickly to Disneyland. There's a few announcements there. Starting in Disney California Adventure.
Yeah, so Avengers Campus is like doubling in size. There's going to be 2 new rides they announced. So one of them is Avengers Infinity Defense. So apparently the tech that the Avengers use to jump between worlds is missing. And guess who has it? King Thanos, of course. So that's kind of the idea of that. And they said you might get face to face with King Thanos. I'm like, ooh, that would be spooky. I literally looked up a picture of him. I'm like, ooh. And then Stark Flight Lab, apparently it's like a 2-person pod you sit in. You go to a test station and a robot arm like picks up your pod and whirls it around like in a simulated flight.
So like, what was that called?
Kind of reminds me of the Spider-Man one. No.
What was that one back in the day that they used to have in the front of Epcot in the innovations area?
Oh yeah, where it was like an arm that you kind of like you'd see at old malls.
Yeah. Gosh, what was that called? Oh, this can drive me crazy.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They had one at Disney Quest too that was like a virtual roller coaster. Remember doing that?
Makes me sick.
Makes me sick. So there's also a Coco ride coming, which
Coco and Encanto for me are like tied for like my favorite Disney movies of the past like decade.
I was just gonna say, I think still Ratatouille's my favorite Disney Pixar movie of all time. Mm-hmm. Followed very, very closely by Coco.
Oh my gosh.
I just love that movie so much.
I do too.
But looking at the concept art, people are riding in a boat. So it seems like it's going to be a boat ride, sort of like Pirates of the Caribbean kind of stuff. And they even said something to the effect of imagine Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean kind of come together. And that's basically what we're going to be getting. So,
and apparently you're going with Miguel to the Land of the Dead.
Yeah. So here's what they said. Walt Disney Imagineering will draw inspiration for the attraction from beloved classics like Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean. We're bringing our skeletal cast of characters to life in a big way through the latest audio animatronic technology, Josh Tomorrow said.
I love this part of the quote, though. These figures will appear in ways you'll have to see to believe.
Which, think about it, that's going to be kind of a hard...
I wonder if the Hatbox Ghost will be a part of it.
But that's going to be kind of a hard thing to do because they're just skeletons. They can't just easily cover them up with clothes and stuff. You know what I mean?
I'm so curious.
Yeah.
They can do a lot of things, Tyler. I wouldn't put it past them.
Oh, I know.
So it said for that construction begins in 2026. So we'll see. They are also getting at Disney California Adventure their own Avatar area, but this one's not going to be like the original Avatar, like the one in Animal Kingdom is based on. This one is going to kind of focus more on like the Way of Water. So there's going to be some new ride that they've described as intense and emotional. Yeah. I'm very intrigued. I will say Flight of Passage is emotional for me. Like it is just so beautiful and
it
amazing.
Sounds like it's going to be kind of a cross between Navi River Journey and Flight of Passage. It sounds like it's kind of going to be a hybrid of the two. Mm-hmm. But it also kind of looked like with the concept art, you can see the big whale, which we still have not seen Avatar Way of Water. We really need to see that. But it sounds like it's going to be kind of like, and I forget which park it's in. I want to say Tokyo Disney or I don't remember. One of them has a new Pirates ride. I mean, it's not.
Oh my gosh, I've seen videos of this.
And it looks, I think that's kind of what this is going to end up being like. So it's sort of a hybrid of those two, and it's going to have big screens, and it's going to look like that.
Yeah, that ride is, what I've seen with the water and stuff is insane.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll be
what that's like. Yeah. So at Disneyland.
Okay, so I think I'm really excited about this. The Walt Disney animatronic. So they're actually bringing an animatronic of Walt Disney. And this is so what's the word I'm looking for? It just messes with my mind because I keep thinking about Walt with like the original Lincoln animatronic.
Yeah.
And then here he is going to be an animatronic. I don't know. It just keeps messing with my mind. And I know they'll do a good job, but I really, really, really hope they don't screw this up. Because I mean, they can't. It's going to be amazing. I'm certain it will. Yeah. But I also don't want Walt to be like a mascot. You know what I mean? I don't know. But
he is. I mean, it's kind of one of those things that, I mean, that ship has sailed.
But it's not the same.
It's just going to be
put him in bizarre. A park like as a character versus.
But I don't think they will do that. I mean, this is literally the legacy of what all of this is. So
no, I agree.
Like you said, I think they're treating this with the TLC it deserves. And they said they're involving the Disney family as well with this whole thing. And it's again one of those things. It is kind of a weird. I'll just be curious. So apparently they're going to do this in the same theater as Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, and they'll play in repertory basically. Like and I don't know if it'll be like throughout the day it'll be different ones, or if it'd be like for a week. It's got to be throughout the day.
I would assume so, yeah. But it's going to kind of go back and forth. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they said it'll play in rotation. So I'm assuming So yeah. Oh, and they described it also as like it'll be kind of as if you're getting to stop by Walt's office.
Right. Which I'm also curious as to why they're doing it this way with an animatronic versus doing it as like a hologram. I feel like that's sort of they've talked about doing like the Walt hologram before, and I feel like that almost would be a little bit more real looking versus.
I don't know. Some of these mean, come on.
I'll be very, very curious to see this. And then the final thing in Disneyland is that Tiana's Bayou is officially going to open November 15th of 2024. So coming up here.
So that replaced their Splash Mountain as well, right? We have not gotten to, hopefully on our next trip.
Yeah.
It was not open the last time we were there, ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure yet. So I am very excited.
I haven't watched any ride-throughs yet.
I haven't either. I've been very, intentionally keep my eyes closed. So very excited to ride that. Excited that Disneyland will have it too. So the third big, section we're going to talk about is Disney Cruise Line.
We just really quickly.
It's really brief. Yeah.
4 new ships coming, going to be 13 in total, assuming they don't retire any of the old ones. Yeah. So, I mean, that's really all we kind of know is that 4 new ships are coming
they
up. Didn't
really give the names and all that are still in development, but some of the new ones that are opening really soon, not a part of these 4, which that's what's crazy. The Disney Treasure sets sail later this year,
very soon.
Really soon. And there's going to be a Moana show on it. And there's going to be a huge Taka, which is like the big lava monster, puppet. I know, I'm so intrigued. So, and then they also announced that there's going to be a Hercules show on the Disney Destiny, which I don't think sets sail until next year.
They need to make that a stage show. Year. That music is so good. I mean, it's Alan Menken, of course, but it has been begging. And they've done a couple, but I wanted to see it done legit.
Yeah. So there you go. Those are the announcements.
Lots of big stuff.
There's a lot of other, I feel like maybe smaller ones or ones for other parks around the world that, like we said, we're not going to cover. But we did ask you guys on our Instagram, which is at Disneyville Podcast. I'm getting into posting more reels of like our adventures in Disney and like, restaurants and all kinds of stuff. So if you're into that extra bonus content, definitely give us a follow over there.
Plus, we just love to see you guys come and comment on our things because then we love talking about it at the end of the episode.
Yeah, if you want to be a part of the show, that's a good way to do it.
I'm just going to say this up front. We got, I think, more responses to this than anything we've ever done before. So there are a lot that just say like villains or Cars Land or just like 1 or 2 words. We're going to skip a lot of those just because there's so many. But just know you have been seen.
Yes. Pat Toscano said the door coaster by far from Monsters Inc. Plus those Monsters Inc. ice cream cones from the concept art. Well, I hope that's coming true. I hadn't even noticed that. That is so funny.
All right. It's Kayla Robinson. Hi, Kayla. Said, I'm so excited for Cars Land, but I'm sad. It may mean saying goodbye to Rivers of America and Liberty Bell. Yeah. I'm torn. I think they're going to do. Yeah.
Sarah Virginia 97 said Villains Land. Now I hope they're doing the Yzma coaster. I don't know what.
That'd be funny.
Oh my gosh.
Kim Baru said, Villains area. We've been begging for a Villains park, but I guess we'll settle for a land. So here's the thing. We've always talked about if they were to do a 5th gate, what would it be? I just don't see them opening up a 5th park anytime in the next couple decades. I just don't. But everyone that was, there's always this speculation, like if they opened a fifth gate, what would the theme be? And a lot of people said villains. I'm like, I don't think the villains could sustain an entire park. I just don't see that happening.
Well, and like kids might be scared, like any kids under the age of 7 might be like, well, I don't want to go to Villains Land today. Like that sounds scary. Whereas if it's just a part of, because I think they could do a land. I mean, there's enough characters, but I just, like you said, a park. But like what you said, I don't think it would do as well as maybe we would all like it to.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't see that sustaining an entire park.
The other thing is too, and I'm only going to touch on this briefly. A lot of people are like, well, Disney needs to answer to Universal's Epic Universe. And to me, I'm like, no, they don't. Because they have 4 parks already and 2 water parks and this insane sprawling Disney Springs area and all these, like Universal is still competing with Disney. And I love Universal. I am so excited about Epic
100%.
Universe, but it is so funny that so many people feel so strongly that Disney absolutely has to have an answer to that. And I'm like, this is plenty. And some people are like, it's not enough. I'm like, yes, it is. Like, this is so much money being invested in.
Y'all been to the Disney parks recently? They're still packed.
Yeah, that's the thing. Don't even get me started on the prices.
We'll talk
okay.
About but, like I always say, they'll stop kicking that dead horse when it stops spitting out money.
Okay. So I'm reading said Monsters Inc. Land, literally my dream come true, with a nod to Monsters University, even if it's just a shop. And then she also said, P.S. I want to buy myself a Letterman jacket so bad, like a Monsters University Letterman jacket.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Remember my old, do I still have it? Monsters University, I think I do. Hat.
That was a great
hat.
Oh,
that was back in the day.
Okay, Sarah Finster said, Monsters Inc. Land and Coaster, as long as they don't touch the Muppets. Agreed.
Yes.
She said, hot take, Cars Land and Magic Kingdom will look awesome as part of Frontierland. It fits perfectly.
It really does. Happily Ever Honeymooners said, I have a friend who's been working on the new Magic Kingdom Night Parade. Can't wait to see it. So that means they're working on it.
Yeah.
And they have to be. If they're already going to be opening in the summer, I'm like, that's a big...
It's coming up fast.
Yeah, so that's awesome to hear that they're already working on it.
Think about how intricate the floats are and the costumes and the choreography. Like, there's so much that goes into that. That's a pretty quick turnaround. Yeah, that's a big, K. Trogger95 said, everything for Animal Kingdom, that park has needed some love, and I'm glad it's getting its moment. Yeah, I would say that's been the one that hasn't had a whole lot happening to it. I mean, obviously they got Pandora, but otherwise, I mean, it hasn't changed a whole lot since it first opened in 98. So
that's such a good point. And obviously the kind of mission behind Animal Kingdom is different than the other parks. However, there are those places where they could update it, and now they are. And it's, I mean, really, they're kind of, they've got all of Asia and Africa, kind of all, like the animals are all good, like all of that. But the Dino Land has needed some TLC, so this is huge. They're redoing the Tree of Life. They just did Pandora. So everything there in the front half of the park.
Yeah, I feel like they keep trying things in Animal Kingdom that just don't work out for one reason or another. Kite Tails didn't work out. The Journey, what was that one? The Journey Alive in the Jungle.
Rivers of Light.
Rivers of Light, but then no, the Jungle Book Alive with Magic. There's just all these things that they keep doing stuff, and then that just doesn't stick for one reason or another. So hopefully it's going to start seeing a little TLC. They did do the projection show on the tree though. That's pretty cool. So they're doing some stuff.
Listen, bring back the Jungle Parade. Remember, didn't they have it was like Jingle in the Jungle? No. But there was it was like Jammin' Jungle. What? Bring that back, okay? Generally, the consensus is that Villains Land is the most excited. I'm seeing a lot of Villains Land, a lot of Monsters Inc., and a lot of Cars. Like those are, Villain seems to be the most, but this comment made me laugh. Hannah said, unpopular opinion and maybe off topic, Villains Land is trying too hard. I will say seeing some of the video footage of the concept art that they came out with, it's like, okay. Little dramatic, but it's still exciting to me.
Cassandra Grass said, can't wait for this. D23 was overwhelming in a good way. Can't wait to hear y'all's take. That is true. I feel like we ended up taking today an hour before this episode, even though we kind of already knew.
An hour and a half.
We knew all the announcements already, but we're like, okay, we got to
organize this because it's all just floating around in there.
It was so much to try and
I couldn't remember. I'm like, wait, is it Coco that's coming to Animal Kingdom or Encanto or what? So yeah, no, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah. Thingamabob_ear_co said, Monsters Inc. 8-year-old me has been waiting on this since the movie released in 2001.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so good. That is such a good movie.
A lot of people also excited about the nighttime parade too. Oh, one thing, again, we didn't touch on it, but they're doing a Lion King thing in Disneyland Paris. And so Anne TVH said, Lion King Land, what took them so long? Also, I'm Dutch, so Paris is my home park. So yeah, it is kind of wild that really the only Lion King thing we have in Disney World is the Lion King show, which is incredible.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's crazy that there's not like a Lion King ride or something.
And it's one of those things that's been so beloved for so long.
Still is. Kids still love it. They all know what it is.
Yeah. Jason Donahue said, Monsters, Inc., depending on where they put it.
That's right.
Hashtag save Muppet Vision 3D.
Yes. Okay, so we like to read a review at the end. Thank you guys if you take the time to write us a review. I usually pull them from Apple Podcast reviews. Can you leave reviews on Spotify? I think so.
I don't know. That's a good question.
But either way, thank you so much for leaving this. So this review is from Zreen B. Simply awesome. I love this podcast. I found the Brauns on YouTube when searching for Disney travel vlogs. I instantly found my people. From everyday things like The Office and Bob's Burgers references.
Oh my gosh, you are definitely our people.
I think I made at least one, maybe two Bob's Burgers references
in this
today.
episode.
I love learning new things about the parks, getting tips, and hearing overall reviews. You can truly tell how sincere they are and how much they love all things Disney. We do love Disney parks so much. You guys are my comfort people. Please keep it going. Thank you so much.
That
was so kind. What was it from? I think it was last episode, the review we read, someone said,
thank you for keeping a fun place fun.
Yeah, or a happy place happy. It was
something
one of
like
those.
That, yeah.
And I love that. And I really want to get that on a mug.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
When did we start? I think what I said was get a mug that says, keeping a happy place happy since 2023. Just doesn't have the gravitas that we just started. Yeah.
You can contact our lawyers so you can get proper credit for it and start getting your merchandise rights.
Oh my gosh.
But no, I know we've talked about it before, but that is one thing we really try and strive for is keeping a happy place happy. It is our happy place. And it has been for a long time. And, we want to keep it that way.
Yeah. So this was really exciting. I hope you guys were into this very, very long episode about all of the announcements. Let us know if you have any video topic ideas. We will add to our list. We are always open to that. The easiest way to get an idea to us is definitely on our Instagram. You can DM us, or if you are watching this on YouTube, that's a really easy way. Drop a comment below. Maybe you listen to this in the car and you don't use Instagram, pop on YouTube. You can go down below the video, even if you've already listened to it, and just give us a comment with any ideas you have, any thoughts you have on these announcements, rumors you've heard, like those. I love reading those.
Ooh, 59 minutes and 9 seconds. Should we vamp for another 50 seconds just to try and get to the 1 hour
make it an hour? I don't know. What you guys doing this week? You guys having a good start? We usually put these up on Mondays. Hope you're having a good start to your week if you're listening to it on Monday.
Also, I just thought about it. With all the stuff that's cut out, this is probably like a 48 minutes. And they're like, what are you guys talking about 59 minutes? We've been recording for 59 minutes.
That's
anyway,
right.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Love you guys. Bye.